Rosenthal. Jeremy is with us this morning, comes to us from Fox. He's an attorney. He's got some thoughts to share with us this morning, too, on a number of legal issues. Our visit presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Jeremy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful, and it's good to have you with us here today. So we've been talking about this dude at Walmart who called the police basically on himself after he messed up at the self-checkout line, and he basically wanted to accuse the store of ripping him off, but he ripped his own self off, didn't he?
Maybe. So this comes from Reddit. I'm not a big Reddit guy, although it sounds like I need to be getting my news from there and not maybe not like NBC or Fox or BBC Worldwide. I need to get it from Reddit where they have a bunch of numbers and digits and ampersands in the journalist's name, right? But this guy, so what he does is he rings himself up for $1,300 worth of avocados, which I think was a problem because he was really only wanting to buy maybe $20 worth.
Uh-huh.
So he does that, and then, he goes a little bananas, and he decides to call the police. But I will say this. Who has not wanted to call the police about Walmart and complain about prices and look, if he walked out and had accidentally not rung up something, they're going to accuse him of theft. Mm-hmm. So I kind of think this is fair. I think this is fair game to say, look, you guys were trying to get $1,300 out of me. I don't know. I'm not seeing the problem here.
Well, there is actually a serious thing about this, though, and that is consumers do have rights when they get to self-checkouts, which more and more stores are going to, and they're replacing workers with self-checkout, and then they just have somebody trying to watch you like a hawk, and there's all kinds of surveillance. But how do you know when you have other people waiting to get to your station there, how do you know that you've done everything properly? And you can get a little paranoid, can't you?
Oh, man, those things are big mousetraps. And like I had one yell at me the other day. Now I live close to a Target, so most of my self-checking out is at Target, not Walmart. I went to Walmart, I don't know, maybe a month ago, and I'm just putting stuff down, and it yells at me, and it's like you moved it to the wrong side too fast. And then, of course, like the store police get there, or the checkout guy gets there, and like he was nice about it, but you kind of are wondering, are they looking at me? Do they think I did something weird? My daughter, when she helps me check out, she's got and I'm like, no, we're going to get confused and forget something, and they're going to tackle me on the way out. Or I'll make sure that they tackle you on the way out. I think if we make a documentary about the self-checkout line, I'd watch that thing. I think a bunch of weird and crazy happens there.
Yeah. And the video surveillance, it generally is going to catch up to you. I wanted to ask you this because there are some stores that after you go through all of that process, as you're walking out, they say, "Can I see your receipt?" And then they glance at your bags or whatever it is, your cart, whatever you have in it. Are there legal issues that are involved there? Do I have to show them my receipt after they've just watched me go through the checkout?
Actually, that's a really great question. There's what's called a shopkeeper's privilege, which means that if you are a shopkeeper can stop you and detain you, but I don't know how much. I think they've got to have some type of evidence of malfeasance to do that. So, in theory, you could say, no, I'm not doing that. This is what we call the Westlaw, the LexisNexis of my brain. So you're getting what you pay for here, which is, I'm not certain of the answer here, but I think you have to have some evidence in order for the shopkeeper's privilege to be triggered. So you could, in theory, tell them, no, I'm not going to do that. Now, they could also say, well, you can never come back again. They could sort of pull that on you. But I don't know if you have the right to just kind of keep on walking right out of Costco or Walmart or wherever it is. Now, I do know that when they look in my bag and I've got like 14 things and they take a 2-second look at my receipt, I'm like, man, you must be very highly skilled to know exactly and check it all, scan it all in your brain as fast as I did it. Good for you. You know, how much training does that take at Walmart? But apparently they can have, right?
Evidently, yeah. And I guess what the bottom line is we need to be very demonstrative about how we're going about things in that checkout line so that even on video surveillance they can see that you're not trying to pull a fast one there. You're doing everything properly.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And the first thing that they look for is if you look at the camera, right? You've ever done that? Like, oh, now I'm looking at it, right? Now they know. See, you got to act natural. You got to be cool.
There you go. Hey, let's move on to another topic. Of course, Steelers fans have a great interest in this. Antonion Brown, charged with attempted murder with a gun following an incident at an event in Miami last month. Turns out that when they charged him, he was out of the country, and he's taking it seems, very lightly, but attempted murder is not something that anybody should take very lightly. And so we'll be watching how this all unfolds. Guys that have a propensity to get into trouble, they probably need to avoid those certain areas and episodes where the potential for trouble is greater.
Right. Apparently, he grabbed a weapon out of a security guard's holster or from a security guard somehow. Legally, and to nerd out here just for a second, because I'm told I'm a lawyer, and so sometimes I nerd out or I have to sort of do that. Attempted murder is always a really odd charge to me because it is what's called a specific intent crime, meaning that the prosecution has to prove that you wanted to end this other person's life. Mm-hmm. And that may very well have been what Antonion Brown was trying to do. But you can always charge somebody with aggravated assault, which is not a specific intent crime and is far easier to prove. All you got to prove is that you pointed a weapon at somebody and you've got aggravated assault. With attempted murder, it is you're making it almost impossibly hard to prove your own case. And Antonion Brown did kind of, you mentioned it earlier, he kind of scoffed it off a little bit. He had a $10,000 bond, which apparently is not a big deal to him because he's had higher bonds in the past. He's had, I think, a $250,000 bond. He goes out of the country, was already going to be on vacation or was already leaving, so they don't consider him a fugitive necessarily from justice. But, he may be playing next year. They've got a team in the UAE that he may be playing on a team. I was also told he was an owner of an arena league team in upstate New York. Apparently didn't make a lot of friends there too. Kind of ran him into the ground. So, we'll see what's going on here. But yeah, a lot of issues.
You know, when you consider him and the amount of hits that he took over the years, and some of them really devastating hits that caused him to miss time with concussion, you consider the whole CTE environment that some players get involved in, and then some bizarre behavior after they're out of football. In probably, 15 or 20 years in that between now and then, they'll have tests for CTE that will be able to see what these guys' brains have endured. And there are obviously going to be great numbers of lawsuits, and we can expect more behavior like this from some of these NFL players.
That's a great point, and you can never really be too dismissive of behavior like this, particularly when it ramps up. I think he's been out of the NFL now for about 4 or 5 years, and I think he had some troubles, I believe, while he was in the league. I think he got removed from a couple teams for disciplinary reasons. Nothing remotely rising to this level, but he's had several arrests, I think, in the last 3 or 4 years. So you probably hit the nail on the head here, that there may be some issues with some of the concussions. And it's always that is one worry that you always sort of have in the back of your mind is this person okay? Is he stable? Is there some mental health issues? His reaction to these legal charges is a touch bizarre. So yeah, that could definitely be a factor here.
Yeah, Junior Seau, Aaron Hernandez, all of those different cases involving them legally, and it's in the end, it's very, very sad. And it also calls upon the NFL to continue to try to find ways to keep these guys safe.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And the best way to stay safe in the NFL, I'm a big Cowboys fan, so the best way to stay safe is to play us, because we don't hit you very hard. Look, you guys are lucky in Pittsburgh. The Cowboys, we are like citizens of North Korea. We just have to pray that our great leader, when he goes, that his son is more merciful and wise. Because we're stuck, man. We're stuck. We got nothing to look forward to here. Nothing.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we got Dak Prescott, so there's that. At least we don't have Aaron Rodgers.
Hey.
Are you guys excited about that? I have to ask. Are you guys? I mean, what's the attitude there about that?
Excitement is not the word that anybody would choose. I think.
Okay.
I think
elation.
The best word we could use is wary. We're wary of what Aaron Rodgers would bring to us.
You could win like the Peyton Manning Super Bowl in Denver. That could happen. Right?
No, we would find ways. We would find ways to mess it up. Hey, Jeremy, it's been great talking with you this morning about legal issues. It's always fun.
All right. Have a great morning.
You too. There's Jeremy Rosenthal with us here this morning. Aaron Rodgers too, on Indiana in the Morning. It is